Secretary Mayorkas, when you testified on March 29th before the Homeland Security Subcommittee regarding President's FY24 budget proposal for your department, there were 6,610 encounters at the southern border. On Monday, that number was 8,500, which is 8.5 times more than the 1,000 daily encounters that your former boss, Secretary Jay Johnson, said would constitute a crisis. I know on that day, on March 29th, you did not say that we had a crisis. My question for you is today, do you believe that we have a crisis before us?
Senator, let me make this point that is very, very important because I've been asked, would I describe it as a disaster? Would I describe it as a crisis? I do not diminish the significance and the complexity of the challenge. No, if I may.
Well, I only have 5 minutes and I only have 3 left. So is it a crisis, yes or not? I guess I'm going to move on. Secretary Becerra, do you think that we have a child care crisis, affordable child care crisis in this country?
Senator, I don't think there's any doubt that we have a
that's what I thought. Okay, so, but this is an emergency, Secretary Mayorkas. It is an emergency, though.
It is urgent that we receive the funding for our personnel and our tools to enhance the security of our border.
I think we just need to use the words "it's true." It's an emergency. That's what this administration said. They put it in an emergency supplemental request, so let's treat it as such. Moving on, you did have a record year, though, in other ways. You put more people on the non-detained docket than previous 2 administrations combined in the entirety of their terms in office. This administration had near low levels of removal and detention beds filled, and this administration set another record for encounters on the southwest border. And as my colleague from New Hampshire mentioned, there was a 500% increase in the northern border in a 5-county area that impacts the area that she represents. When we talk about this, we don't need to manage the border, as it says in one of your requests here. We actually need to secure it. So in doing that, this administration has kind of had different positions, and I want to clarify it. Do you believe that a border wall is part of the answer? Yes or no?
No.
No. Okay, so I have a trouble reconciling that with your the rule that you signed and issued on October 5th, where you said construction of physical barriers on the border of the United States would, in fact, prevent unlawful entries.
Senator, so if I may explain, the Congress mandated that we employ
But you didn't actually have to issue a rule. We could have done that. And one more thing, this administration and your department, the Department of Homeland Security, issued a contract for $500,000 in September of 2001 for the purchase and installation of a wall around this president's beach house. So you'll do know walls work. You do know they're part of the solution. You do know they're part of creating security. But for whatever reason, you feel like the American people are beneath that. And I think that it is incredibly frustrating.
I truly don't know how Alejandro Mayorkas can sleep at night. I really don't. He's saying basically that all of the problems at the border are because we don't have enough personnel. Yeah, okay. And then when she asked about, is a border wall part of the program you want to... No. Well, if walls don't work, why did they just build one around Joe Biden's beach house? Because they want to protect themselves. That's how communist dictators work. They live in big, gorgeous mansions when they preach about everyone being equal. They have a surplus of food when everyone else is starving. They have a wall when the rest of the country doesn't have one because they are safe and we are not. What's funny is things have gotten so bad that Biden did decide to build some border wall. Yeah, that's right. Biden is building a wall. Remember when Trump did it? It was racist and xenophobic. And to make it worse, I think he's violating 24 federal acts to do so, like environmental, water, wildlife. But no, the environmental crazies don't care about when Biden does it, right? We have to not allowed to have a pizza stove, have to drive an electric car, can't have a gas stove. I meant a pizza oven, sorry. We're not allowed to have a pizza oven. We're not allowed to have a gas stove. And we have to drive crappy electric cars. But Biden doesn't have to care about the environment when it's his border wall. These people are pieces of crap and total hypocrites.